Dart Talk carries the Internet Broadcast Rating TVD, a broadcast that is specifically designed to be viewed or heard by the darting community, and therefore may be incomprehensible to other lesser mammals. Darter discretion advised.
It's time for Dart Talk, brought to you by TheDartZone.com. Stay in the zone. TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor, and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics, and Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome.
Another Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
Happy Hump Day. Happy Bosses Day, too.
October 16th.
Did you get me something?
No, but my department did.
Nice.
What'd they get me?
They got me something.
Well, okay.
So no.
Wow. So it's not
See,
a happy Bosses Day for me then.
I
Well, it
figured
might be for somebody.
I figured I couldn't get a job till tomorrow. That way I wouldn't be obligated to get my boss anything. So I waited another day.
Well, what is it, the 16th?
It is the
October
16th,
16th, 2013. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. Chat Room Girl is back from yet another illness. You're out of sick days. You know that.
I wasn't giving a employee manual when I started with the amount of sick days and vacation days I was allowed. So therefore, by state law, I actually have not hit a maximum or minimum yet.
I don't know. She may get a email from HR about that.
Right.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Were you in the chat? Did you listen to the show last week?
You know, I tried. I was in for a little while, and I listened to it quite a bit, but I didn't interact a whole lot.
It's rough when you have a fever and a cold to type.
Oh, bad
It
turkey.
didn't make you feel any better?
I had bad food.
Figured that would soothe the
so
stomach.
yeah, no.
Well, the reason I ask is
No.
I was kind of wondering what you thought of Adam. Adam Smith was on the show last week.
I think Adam needs to not hit my bell and needs to stay out of my chat. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it was a great show, and it was very interesting, especially his travels. He's very enthusiastic about the sport, and
Yes,
I love
he is.
that.
He really is.
I love that.
Yeah, I hung out with him for quite a while. He actually left his darts at the last place we stopped, so I actually shipped them to him before the show.
That's pretty fun.
So, and UPS gives you an option to add your own like tracking number and stuff. So I just put in Adam's Lost Darts. So if anybody wants to know where Adam's darts are,
Go to the UPS.
just go
site.
to UPS and type in Adam's Lost Darts, and we can give everybody like Facebook updates on where Adam's darts
Right.
are. So
You
they're
shipped them today?
yeah, they just went
Oh,
out the
okay.
door about an hour and a half ago. So, although he'll be missing one of his flights, I assume he's got more because he's got
You
like
would
these
hope.
rose flights, whatever. I don't know.
Why
He's
is he
still-
missing a flight?
Well, what happened was it ended up in a cup with all the bar darts. So I
his,
had to like
his darts?
yeah, and then I had to literally go in there, and I'm like, wait a minute, you got to have the shaft, and they had like literally taken the shaft off one of his darts and put it on one of the bar darts.
Oh,
So I'm over
nice.
there like, yeah, it was great. But he, he was here for a while, so I don't know. It'd be interesting if he ever publishes anything about that little dart bar tour.
Right.
I'd be interested to see that because to be honest. I asked around a couple of people, who do you know that can walk to 9 dart bars? I mean, walk to 9 dart bars. I don't know anybody. I was talking to...
No, I mean, anybody in the city, really.
I mean, I wonder if they're that close together in Boston. Or,
Oh, yeah, well.
Aside from Hong Kong, which I guess in Hong Kong there's a bunch of dart bars like concentrated kind of in like one area. And yet we have a league that's like...
And it's amazing you have that many dart bars and we can't get a high amount of play.
Well, we're gonna try to fix that. I talked to one of the venues and locked it up for Monday nights starting in January. So we'll try to get a
For
singles
what?
league
A
going.
singles league? All right.
Well, league play is fun. League play has its place, but for people that want to improve their game and for people that want to get a lot of darts in, league doesn't seem to do it.
Long format cricket. I'm assuming you're.
Cricket?
I mean, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Long format 501. Is there a long format cricket?
Well, yeah, you just kind of keep
Just
playing
keep
more
playing,
and more of
yeah.
it until, like, I don't know, you get sick and.
I'm sorry,
Ill.
501. But that's
Yeah.
what you're.
Well, yeah, and the way I figure is you blind draw 3 people, you put them on a board, you say play 2, chalk 1, right, and then go home. And depending on the quality of player you got there, you could play 2 matches that are best of 15, 2 matches best of 11. I mean, if they're kind of intermediate players, 2 matches best of 9. But, you'll get your games in and you'll get out of there and you won't have to be there till last call. And there'll
Right.
be the problem I
And
see.
you'll be playing the whole time as opposed to sitting for an hour.
Well, look, I mean, the way they work the singles leagues here, where you just call somebody up, hey, it's our week to play. What day do you want to play? Where do you want to play? La-di-da. And then you end up with just 2 people sitting somewhere. That's not satisfying to a lot of people. Where at least here, there's other people to talk to, and then when your matches are over, there's people to hang with, and you can, get more games in, something like that. So, I'm very curious to see if this concept works, because I think it can.
Hopefully it does.
Well, I think it. I think
it
it
should.
can. It's. I think there's plenty of people that want to play.
You already got a decent commitment.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are kind of like, yeah, that sounds good. Let me know. Yeah, that sounds good.
But
let
yeah,
me
you
know.
never know
So,
until
but I
it's-
don't want to
right.
like put a lot of time into doing something like this. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't. I'm a player. I mean, we do the show and everything, but I've kind of looked back on the year, which I've had no choice. I've had to look back on the year, and I haven't had time to compile my results and everything. But I'm like, I really shut it down after the NWDS in Vegas in April. I mean, I literally almost stopped playing completely.
Right, you haven't played that much.
No, so it's kind of good. I started going out a couple of weeks ago to get used to the new my new weight darts. The 20-gram barrels, and I don't know, it's fun. Helps your game too when you play every night. Let me tell you. We got a lot of okay. Babylon. That's me, by the way. We got a lot to get to. They finished off the Grand Prix.
All right.
One of my favorite tournaments, the one in Dublin, double in, double out, and set play, which I always like. And then this weekend, my gosh, there's how much? There's tournaments all over the place. There's a tournament in Vegas, soft tip tournament in Vegas. There's this soft tip triple elimination blind draw, play 300 games to get in thing in Missouri, which
Right.
I just shake my head about that one. And then Which Cities this weekend, and there's a Darts Live America's Tour event in Virginia Beach. So, we've been talking, I don't know, I can't remember. Did we ever go into why you play this tournament, why you play that tournament, or did we just sort of say we need to start coaching people up on how to pick tournaments?
Well, I think we've done both, but a lot of it depends on, everybody's schedule. You have to pick the ones you can go to travel-wise, and, and then after that, we've slightly discussed why you should go to this one as opposed to that one. But it's all our opinion.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's run the disclaimer real quick.
please.
I actually remembered to do it this time.
Yeah.
You're going to ding in there? You got
I was
something?
going to ding, but you might
Well,
wanna-
ding. Go ding. What do you got?
Are you going to start up a Chicago PDSL?
I'm not sure whether or not to affiliate it with anything or anybody yet. I want to look at those the PDSL score or PSDL score sheets or whatever, and kind of see if this is going to work. I thought about maybe affiliating it with the ADO. That was a 3-second decision.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sure that didn't take long.
well, no. Look, I mean,
Hey, at least you had the thought.
Look, it comes down to if we're going to end up with a bunch of players that can't travel anywhere, then why affiliate it with the ADO? Because the only reason to affiliate it with the ADO is so when you go on the road, you get your points and you can qualify to go to whatever ADO stuff is going on, right? If nobody's interested in doing that, why be affiliated?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
You know what I mean? And I kind of said, there was no reason to make it a money league. I'm like, look, it needs to be structured where you don't have to show up every week, but you should be encouraged to, and that there's some advantages. So I was thinking, well, look, you just count the legs won. You have a year-end tournament. Everybody's in. You seed it according to the rankings. And then who cares about the money? We can have a pizza party and, with free beer. Or we could do what they do at golf tournaments, right? Where you play like a scramble and there's like 8 teams. And so whoever wins first gets to pick one envelope, and it could be 8th place money or first place money, because to my mind, it doesn't do much good to start a singles league that's about money for a bunch of guys that are trying to work on their game and get to the point where they're comfortable with that. So
plus,
maybe down the road,
when you do something like that with the envelopes, you're encouraging all 8 teams or all 12 people to show up.
Well,
because then they're.
Yeah, you'd need to play a minimum number of nights to get in the playoffs.
Right.
Right. So we'll have to set that up. I'll have to look at the schedule and see. So this is kind of something that I've been sort of sitting on the fence on for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're playing that format in Charlotte, Polly says.
Yeah, they've done something like that in Charlotte, and I think I talked to Robbie Phillips about it, and what they generally do is that's how you get qualified for ADO regionals, right? So if these guys aren't interested in ADO regionals, then, they can keep their $110 and we'll use it for something else, have a party, send everybody to a ball game. I mean, whatever, who cares? Have a banquet.
Yeah.
Have some entertainment come to the bar.
There you go.
We'll get get Katy Perry to come and sing.
Oh, yeah, for $110, I'm sure you will.
Well, $110 a piece. I mean, what does she go for? She looks expensive
I don't know.
me.
I've never had to buy her.
Did I run the disclaimer or not?
No, not yet.
I got interrupted.
We're still waiting on
let's
that.
disclaim everything.
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
Okay, so we haven't changed
Fair
our
enough.
mind about that at all.
We have not.
So you liked Adam last week, huh?
Yeah, like I said, he was very enthusiastic about the sport, and I love that.
He really is sort of like, it's just some of the stuff he said. I just kind of have to roll my eyes. He's like, well, I support steel and soft tip. It's like, okay, great. I don't know what that means. You're not going to like go yank soft tip darts out of somebody's hand. I mean, I don't know what that means. I don't know. We'll have to get him on the show down the
I
road.
think it means he just loves darts.
I'm not exactly.
He really does.
I'm not exactly sure what you just meant by saying you're going to just yank somebody's soft tip darts out of their hand.
Well, if you don't support soft tip darts,
put
then
steel
is
in
that
their
what
hand?
you? Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. What is it? I support it, but yeah, the idea that he's
'Cause
kind of
he's
like the
not pro
Johnny
con.
Appleseed
Yeah.
of darts, and I
He's
kind of
not
like that.
biased.
Right.
He's not biased. I mean, it's
I
not-
like that word. Can we make that word of the night?
everyone is biased. Oh, and you know what else we didn't finish?
But not about everything.
We didn't finish the whole. We didn't finish that whole thing about what do you want to see in the dart professional? Remember Was that-
Attributes. I have a
Yeah,
whole
the
bunch
attributes.
more.
Oh, do you have more?
I do.
All right. Well,
All
all right. Let's get rid of news. Do we have any news?
Find 'em.
I got something from the powers that be over at the NWDS.
All right.
So they're offering people like a deal. If you sign up online at newworlddartseries.com for the event in New Orleans, and you put Dart Talk in the comments, you get a free breakfast for 2 at the buffet.
All right.
So
Sweet.
even people that don't like the show, I mean, if you could just
It's a
sort
free
of type
breakfast.
in Dart Talk, you
Yeah.
get some free food. I mean, I'd have to think that's pretty good. That offer, however, expires October 22nd.
Do they have to type specifically Dart Talk? But if they hate the show, can they say I hate Dart Talk and still get the free breakfast?
I'm pretty sure that they're
As
flexible.
long as the
on-
words Dart Talk are in
Yeah,
there, they
if
can type
you
whatever they
want
want.
to, in 25 words or less, why I hate this show, I think
Yeah.
you'll still get your free
As long
breakfast.
as you have Dart Talk in there.
We should have a contest like that. In 25 words or less, tell us why you hate the show, and then we'll read the best answers. Right? That would
This
be
is not a
funny.
bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll slam ourselves. We have no problem with that. Anyway, for the NWDS, New World Dart Series, registration ends October 28th or when the field is full. And you can actually now, there's an option to leave a deposit instead of paying for your whole entry fee at the same time for people that want to do that. If you register after October 28th, it's going to cost you an additional $50. So I suggest you do it now. And congratulations to Ken Parker and I don't know, Brittany Sutter.
Yeah.
I think it's
probably
common to
Sutter.
say Sutter.
Yeah.
Although I'm a Bruce Sutter fan. Winners of the hometown event in Shreveport, Louisiana. And congrats to Andrew Van Coverden, who won the Brooklyn, New York hometown event. I like him. I like Andrew. Andrew's an up-and-comer. We got a ding?
Back to the WDS. So if they've already signed up, are they out the breakfast?
I don't know. I think if they should immediately send an email to info@newworlddartseries.com and say, Dart Talk, I want free food.
Exactly right.
And I'm
see what
pretty
happens.
sure they'll take care of it.
Right.
Also, there's another hometown event in Brooklyn this weekend. So you guys can go to newworlddartseries.com and check that out. I think there's a link for hometown events, or check them out. They also have a Facebook page. So that was that news. The other news, I didn't know what to make of. The BDO. The BDO.
Here we go.
I just
What did they
I just
do now?
get tired.
BDO,
Well,
WDO,
they had one
BDO.
guy. They had one guy in charge of like their marketing and promotions for like 20 years. And again, I just it just kills me. I mean, anyway, they replaced him with
very exciting news.
they replaced him with like some new marketing organization.
Okay.
So we'll see if there's anything new coming down the pike from the BDO, who, to my mind, is like dealing with some weird.
they replaced one guy
ancient-
with a whole organization.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's what everybody says. Everybody says, in order to fix darts in America, we need to get like a sports marketing firm behind us, which I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. Because I think I have an idea of how to like really help American darts on the cheap. It would be, a total mimicry, but we can
Okay.
get to that. Let's take our first break. You listen to Dart Talk with Mark, Steve, Chat Room Girls back, and we'll be back in a minute or two. Okay, back for the second quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators
You don't play anybody's little statement in there
and
anymore.
Redwood Darts. Anybody's what little statement?
I'm so and so from so and so, and
Hello.
you're listening.
Yeah,
to
I kind of stopped doing that,
Welcome
didn't
to
I?
Dark Talk.
We can add them if you like.
Well, it was just an observation. I just noticed that you didn't play them anymore.
I mean, the way it works with the audio is if you come out from silence to sound, you get like this blast. So the music kind of soothes it over because they all kind of fade in and stuff. So it works out a little better for the podcast, which thanks everybody for listening to the podcast. Getting a lot of downloads last couple
That's
of
good.
weeks, even though I put it up late. I have issues when I upload it from home. We got to
Oh,
talk
do you?
about that.
Wow.
Yeah, after the show. We're going to have to, I got to do the editing here and get it up here.
It's not
or-
working at home.
Well, it works sometimes.
Yeah.
It's moody.
Okay. A lot of things at home are moody.
I mean, that's the only way I can describe my internet connection at home. It's
Okay.
moody.
Yeah.
Moody.
That's what you get for using a satellite provider. What?
Nothing.
Oh, right. Hey, it's from your company.
Stop it.
Yeah, they're terrible. Oh, no.
Stop it.
He said it out loud.
He did. I didn't hear that. I'd like to disclaim myself in case anyone from my
Do you want me to
work
run the
is-
disclaimer again?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Just for her company. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you. It's funny. I peeked into the chat.
Yeah.
I have Sean Narain sunglasses.
I
need to wear them on the show, and I keep forgetting them.
Why do you have his sunglasses? Is he not
I'm
asking
not
for them
really
back?
sure. Well, it was sort of like, after everything was over, late at night in Vegas, I was holding them for him, and he walked away, and he never came back. So I was like, well, I didn't want to throw them out. So I have Sean
guess it's
Narain
better than ending up with
sunglasses.
his
They're not
underwear.
autographed, so I can't say I'm going to get much for them on eBay.
No.
But I don't know. What could I have gotten for Adam's darts? That would have been funny.
That would have been interesting.
You
Hey,
sh-
dude.
yeah,
You
you
put it out
They're
on-
already on eBay,
Put it on
man.
Yeah.
Facebook.
You
or
know?
actually auction them off during the show tonight.
Yeah.
That'd have been kind of funny.
Yeah, you could have given away for anybody who guessed who that woman's singer.
Nobody guessed.
Oh,
Ella Fitzgerald.
they could have won.
Really?
They could have won Adam Smith's darts.
Bette Midler.
It was Bette Midler. Yeah, but I already put that in the chat room.
I know. I read it.
Oh, okay. Well, nice try. Past posting on the show in the chat room. There's got to be a law against that.
Is Sean asking for his sunglasses back?
No, I don't. He probably doesn't even realize that they're missing.
Oh, okay.
But I have them, so he can pick them up from me in New Orleans if I remember to bring them. Otherwise,
You can't even remember to wear them. How are you going to remember to bring them all
well,
the way
that's
to New
why I'm
Orleans?
saying it's kind of like kind of an odd thing.
You do have a backpack. You can just stick them in there. And
Well, don't they get busted? My backpack's got stuff in it.
okay.
My
All right.
backpack's
Put 'em in
never
a
empty.
case.
There'd be a good
packed.
contest. Guess what's in my backpack
No.
and win a free entry
No.
into
Yeah.
If you could guess if you could guess everything in my backpack, I really probably
Then
should
they're stalking
do
you.
something for you. Yeah,
No.
it's kind of funny.
All right. What else we got?
Well, okay, yeah, we could talk PDC Grand Prix for a little while, and
Sure.
then because
Talk Ryan Searle.
Talk what?
What?
Did you watch the Winmaw?
Did I watch the Winmaw?
Double
No.
10.
Oh, that didn't go in? Oh, yeah. And they put a little press release out, which is sort of like,
Yeah.
I don't know how long this organization's been around, but the idea that you can't, deal with something like that, I'm just, in shock. But there was one rule thing that everybody's been
actually had no
asking me
idea what
about.
you were talking
wait,
about.
Okay, somebody actually...
Wait a minute.
Oh,
wait a minute. Back
dang.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, Julie says that Sean will sign his sunglasses for you next time he sees you.
Awesome. But he'll probably sign them where I won't be able to use them because I won't be able to see through his
Sign 'em
signature.
Right through the lenses.
So we'll have to figure out. Yeah, he can maybe Sean Narain, and I can wear him on the show. I think that'd be funny. Although, would he have to do it backwards for the camera?
Well,
So I
He'd
don't
have
know.
to. He has to. He has to sign him with Sean singing in the rain. Is what
Oh,
he-
so
he-
it's even longer.
Yeah, he's got to sign him like that. So he's got to
That's
sign his
pretty good.
nickname on there.
We had some nice comments about your performance in the show last week.
Oh,
by the
did
way.
you? Okay. I'm sure I want to hear him.
Yeah, that's one for the ages. You should really, if
I
there's
should
one,
go back and
if
listen
there's
to
one
that
you're
one?
going to download, you should download
Okay.
last week's. And again, sorry everybody that the audio was up so late. I had some connectivity issues, we'll call it. But just a reminder, you can always get the audio podcast on iTunes, on TuneIn.com, and on Stitcher.com. And our video archive is up on YouTube. Just type in Dart Talk or type in Dart Talk US, all one word, and you'll get to the channel. If you want to be in on the live chat, you gotta come live.
Right.
You gotta log in live.
Yep. Do I
And,
want to know?
I
what
actually
any
had
of
some
these comments
questions
were?
about that. If
Anything
you
you
remember
could-
how
anything
rough
you
that
could
show
say online?
started, yeah, well, I think you can use your imagination and it would be relatively accurate.
Okay.
Well, no, I promised everybody, before the last break, I had an idea, as far as helping American darts.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed you when you came in a video of this championship league darts, right? And what'd you think of it?
Well, I mean, I thought it was impressive.
Right.
I mean, it's quiet. There's just throwing darts. There's no crowd. And it's kind of like actually playing darts at one of the bars in Chicago. There's nobody around,
It just
And you
strikes
just-
me, yeah.
and you just go there and throw darts.
Well, one of the things I've always said, and when it comes to tournament organizers, is that one of the primary responsibilities of a tournament organizer is to provide conditions for people to play their best.
Right.
And to the extent that you don't do that, you're failing as a tournament
Well,
organizer.
they obviously have a nice setup. I mean, they've got the couple cameras and the tarp on the right to block everything and the stage, and they just go up there and
It looks to me, for anybody that hasn't seen, Championship League darts, the PDC Championship League darts, I'm sure if you go on YouTube and put that on there, you can see what we're talking about. But it strikes me as being a setup that would be very simple for people to emulate here.
Do you think with the cameras as well, or do you just think
Sure.
just the
Well, look, I mean, if you
The
use
format.
if you use cheapy $50 webcams, it's not going to look anywhere near as good
Right.
as
is what they're showing?
as
Yeah.
what they're showing. But the idea that you have a caller and a chalker and two people playing, I mean, how can you not do that somewhere? It strikes me that you could do this at any tournament you go to. Like, I don't know how many people are going to be in which city this weekend,
Other
but I
than
guarantee
you have to find a caller and a chalker. People that want to do it.
Well, I mean, you can always find somebody, willing to chalk. It's a question of expertise. But it seems to me that, like, at any given tournament, you could set this thing up and get, like, 2 or 3 matches on a Friday and record them and have, like, a whole series. And it's a way to showcase American darts, right? And a relatively...
Yeah, so you're saying you wouldn't even have to do it live. You're just
No.
recording and then you put it on,
Well, no, I mean...
load it up. And
streaming stuff live becomes, kind of complicated and stuff, but it strikes me as being a great way to, show people some high quality darts. Like even all these people that go online on soft tip and play each other remotely, it's too bad that, they can't somehow record the matches so you can see them. Right, I see.
Right.
I see people like kind of taking digs at each other and all this, and posting stats, this, that, and the other thing. It'd be kind of cool though if you could somehow record those matches and just watch them online. It'd be like, oh, here's this 5-game set that Soldier played against Royden Lamb. I think people would want to see that stuff like that. So maybe the soft tip machine makers, whatever. Can work that
wasn't
out.
sure where you were going with
Well,
that.
no, it strikes me as being like, people like to watch darts, and until we actually have them on TV in America, the internet's really your only alternative, right? So, yeah, it's great to watch all these, English guys play and stuff, but I would like to see Americans play. And as good as Darts Live does with their, that was the other thing, is they had a Darts Live stage over the weekend. I forgot to put that in the thing. We can talk about that. I watched that quite a while. I wasn't too pleased with, the Americans didn't do that good this time, but I saw some interesting matches, but the idea is people would like to see that, people would
Right.
like
So
to
you
see
think
this
it's
guy play
something-
that guy. Well,
Something that very inexpensive that could be put on. And
yeah, I would think that I would think every major league and every major tournament has some techie people involved where you could put them to work on this. And I can't imagine it would cost that much money. Maybe, somebody can like email the show as far as like, what ideal equipment would be and what it would cost and stuff. It's just something like down the road. I don't know why they're not doing this stuff. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. Like this singles league I'm talking about, it'd be very easy to rig cameras up in that in the back
sure.
room there.
Absolutely.
And
a couple
record the
different
matches.
angles,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of weird. It's like all the people that have been running leagues for a long time are older and aren't really techie and not into the internet, not comfortable with it, and all the possibilities that you have for promoting darts in America, Facebook and YouTube and all this stuff is relatively new. But I don't think that, some of the older people running leagues are really kind of, plugged into this. It's something that like their kids do,
Right.
but it's free.
I would agree with that.
It's you got a free whack at worldwide media, right? So we should be seeing a lot of this stuff, and the fact that we only see, little bits and pieces, I guess down the road maybe that'll change, but, I think it'd be compelling.
Oh, yeah,
I know
absolutely.
Shelty records their matches, but I don't see them publishing them anywhere because they record their matches to make sure that somebody isn't actually like, cheating. which I don't know why you would play an online match and cheat, but when they're doing like online competitions and stuff, they actually have a referee that can look at the tape. Somebody explained it to me, and I don't really remember. Like they keep like the last 30 seconds of every match or something, and they kind of look at this or look at that. But the fact that there's a feed somewhere means that if you're clever enough, you can grab it. You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be cool though, because people that travel, if you do this at every tournament, the tournaments you can't travel to, you can see your friends play, people and and just watch their matches.
Well, yeah, I think it's a great way. It's it's kind of funny. I mean, this BDO problem where the guy didn't hit a double. They were streaming it live, so everybody knew he didn't hit the double, except the referee who gave him the match.
Oh, did he?
So
what do you do?
So I had a question about that.
Okay.
So it's clear. I mean, it was very clear that the dart was not in, but the referee called it. So there's no overturn from what the referee calls?
Well, according to the BDO's press statement, which was like, no admission that, we're like the kings of darts. We've been here 30 years, and this has never happened. Like, really? It's the first time it's like been public where you've actually had to make a statement. They're going to change their rules. I don't know what they did. I mean, the same thing happened with Taylor. If the referee calls it in and you pull your dart, it's in. Mm-hmm. That I looked up what the BDO had rules wise to verify that, and that's it's kind of like he called you safe at home.
Yeah.
Replay showed you were out. Well, umpire said you were safe, so I guess you're safe. There was one other issue. Okay, get this. Okay, somebody brought this to me, and I never talked about it. So get this. Somebody is playing an 0-1 game, right? Apparently a player of questionable ability. And they were on, I believe they were on 36, or was it? They were on 40. They went for double 20, and they hit double 18. What does that leave? 4?
Yeah.
No. What basically happened is somebody's on a Well, somebody hit a double, or somebody needed to hit a double to win a match, right? They were on, let's say, for the sake of argument, they were on 44. So they
throw out the 418 wire.
Well, what basically happened was, somebody missed and hit something else, right? So then they're on 36. I don't know, how could you hit a 4 going for 40? It was weird.
Well, you said he wasn't that good, so it's very easy to do.
So they hit a 4, so now they're on 36.
Right.
So they go for the 36 and miss it or something.
Questionable ability, I believe, is what you said.
What basically happened was they went for the 36 and hit the 40, which would be a bust, except the 4 fell out of the board.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was like, well, is it good or not? And I promised I would go look at the rules. So
I would think it would be good.
And then the other thing came up with a couple of people where it was like, if you're playing a game, right? As you're playing 0-1, you're on 40, you hit your 40 and you turn around and like give somebody a fist bump or shake their hand or something.
And the dart falls out.
Yeah. Does it count?
No.
Some people are saying, well, as soon as you shake hands, it counts, this, that, and the other thing. I've heard people say the minute you say game, it counts.
I thought you in the
so
rules
I went
you
and
had to
looked
go
up the
touch
rules.
your dart.
You have to retrieve your dart or it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Right.
All you have to do is at least touch it.
It doesn't count.
Right.
Right. That's cut and dried.
Mm-hmm.
So these people that like kind of turn around and shake hands at the line and then their dart falls out.
Too bad.
Too bad, so sad.
Right.
Game not over.
And it, I mean, if you're playing with your buddy or something like that, you're not going to really care.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like when you're playing for real competition and stuff, I mean, there's a reason there are rules.
Well, I mean, if you have a dart stuck in the 4, and say you went for the single 18, hit the dart, and they both fell out, then you'd be back to.
Well, yeah.
So then the dart going in the 40.
What basically happened was it was a kind of a beginner who went for the double.
No, I know, but so it should
18, count. And it accidentally went into the double
and the
20,
4
but then
out.
the dart. Well, the deal with a situation like that is once you bust, you're busted. It's not a matter of retrieving your dart.
Okay.
So if the 4 is still in the board,
When the 40
and
hits,
then you hit the double 20 and the 4 falls out, you've busted. You busted the minute it went
it's
into
got to
the
fall
double.
out before it hits. Okay.
And this is something that I've heard some pros kind of say that they can do and they can't. Like, let's say you have 2 left and you're going for double 1. I've heard 2 very famous pros say, well, if you throw one in the fat 1, you can throw your other 2 darts, and if you knock it out, and then hit a double, you win. And that's totally wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
heard
you're
2 people
busted.
say that. Yeah, the minute you bust, it's
You're
busted.
busted.
You don't have to retrieve your darts.
Right. It's
I
different.
mean, if there's no 10-second rule like waiting for a lipped putt to fall in.
yeah, exactly right.
Right?
Or like M&M on the floor, 3-second rule before you eat it.
There is no such thing as a
Yeah.
3-second rule with M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
The
there's
rule
no-
with M&Ms
and
is if
there's-
somebody steps on it, then
Then
don't-
if you
done.
need a
Don't bother.
spatula to pick it
Yeah.
up, don't eat it.
Well, there's no 3-second rule on darts
If somebody
either.
just kicks it over to you, it's fine.
Seriously.
With the side of their foot,
Yeah,
or
accidentally,
or
yeah.
punt it like trying to.
No, on the floor, and they're
Like,
just kind of
if they
walking,
just
and instead of
kick it.
stepping on it, they kind of kick it
As
over
long
to
as
you.
they don't step on it, it's okay.
You
To
can
be
scoop
honest,
it up.
not to be racial about it, but
And
with
it's-
M&Ms, it's about the color. If
Well,
it's a red one, I'm liable to
and-
pick that sucker up.
Okay.
I'll blow on it.
Have
you
somebody
know
else,
what that looked
have
like.
somebody else lick it off for you and say, clean that off.
By the
Oh.
way, if you look on YouTube at last week's show, where Adam Smith is sitting in your chair
Yeah.
with
He's
his
in the
hat, and his
chat room
goatee,
right
and his
now.
sunglasses, he looks just like you.
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
He was
I
like your
almost commented it.
long lost
Yeah.
twin. It
I
was-
I almost commented, look, it's your cousin.
I almost had to go on YouTube and
He's
put
in
in
the chat, by the way.
a little like caption so they would know
Not
it was
Mark.
him and not you. This is not Mark. So
But Phil says ADO now has a 3-minute rule.
whatever. I mean,
Are you going to stand there and stare at the board for 3 minutes?
a 3-minute rule for
I
what?
don't know.
Well, don't quote stuff you don't know because he might be talking about M&Ms.
He could be.
I mean,
yeah.
if there's a 3-minute rule for M&Ms in New York, I mean,
ADO. He put the word ADO. I don't think
they have a rule about M&Ms.
They might.
I can't imagine them being that painstaking. All right, let's take another break. You listen to Dart Talk, and we'll be right back.
I think that was supposed to be a fun.
Okay, back for the second half. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. I don't know what's going
We're
on.
quote
in the other,
movies over here.
I don't know what's. I'm staying out of that.
Don't even get a bathroom break.
Yeah. Bathroom break. You've been here half an hour.
It was a long drive.
You got to go before you leave home. Isn't that the rule? Oh, gosh.
It took me 2 hours to get here.
Yeah, you're stuck in traffic again.
But
Where are we?
Well,
What are we
got
talking
off
about?
track a little bit.
you know,
though.
and kind
Gee,
of,
really?
yeah, and kind of let me retract. You know, they were talking about 3-minute rule, and they were talking about
Oh, well.
to throw a dart because now it's
It's just 3
rolling
minutes is
and
like
rolling.
if everybody took 3 minutes,
oh,
it'd be
look,
the end
Vic
of the
has
sport.
an archery.
we were going to talk about the Grand Prix before
Oh yeah,
we got
Grand Prix.
involved in
Hey
that.
Steve, tell us about the Grand Prix.
Well, okay. Phil Taylor won, and basically
Shocker.
was class of the field. But no, the thing that was shocking was Chizzy playing Michael Van Gerwen. I have never seen a guy come out with more determination to bury somebody than Chizzy when he came out to play Van Gerwen, and Van Gerwen wilted like I don't know, orchid in
Like,
cold in the cold or the hot. I don't know anything about
I
flowers.
don't know.
No, he folded like an accordion. I mean,
Really?
he tried. I mean, he was in there pitching, and it wasn't happening. But, I mean, Chisnell played so flawless.
Is there
I've
some
never,
animosity there? Why is it
No, I don't think so.
just the match?
No, I
in
don't think it was
general?
anything personal. I think it's, there was somebody, and I don't know if I said this on the show a week or two ago about how somebody was saying he was like the next big thing. And I was like, really?
Who?
And that was
Chisnell?
yeah, that Chizzy was going to be the next big thing, and I took issue with that. I think it was, maybe 2 years ago, and in the time since, it's been Van Gerwen that is like really, upped his game to the point
Right.
where they're talking about him as a co-favorite or one of the favorites to win the world championship, right? And everybody kind of, Chisnell, yeah, he's good, but what's he done? Wow.
He tried to change that.
He played. I have very seldom been as impressed with a match that somebody's played as I was with Chizzy playing Van Gerwen. I got chills watching how good he played, and it was just like he just rained triple 20s on Van Gerwen, and it was like a pile of bricks, just, and then you throw another one, and you throw another one. It was awesome.
Actually, it gets heavy.
It was really awesome.
Right.
And, he won the semi. I didn't get a chance to see the semi. I looked at the averages, and, it was a little down. He averaged almost 100 on a double-in 5-0 start, which is not easy to do
Against Van Gerwen?
against Van Gerwen.
Wow.
And, most of the players, if you look, your average really gets hammered when, you miss 3 to get in, that kind of thing. And Phil just killed everyone. I mean, the guy is just... He's such a master, and if you can't stay on his heels, he's just long gone.
Right.
He's just long gone, and it's been that way for so long. And Adrian Lewis went through this period where he just rained ton 80s on people, and then Van Gerwen was scoring really well. But then you look at Taylor, he doesn't throw as many ton 80s as everyone else. He's got those bulgy little darts. He throws more cover shots, but who's there at the end? It's this idea somehow that Van Gerwen is a better player, that I've seen some people talking about him. I don't know what they're watching.
Well, all he does is
I really don't know
you
what
make
they're
one
watching.
mistake, and all of a sudden you're done.
Well, I mean, you're playing like 5 sets,
Yeah.
6 sets, 7 sets. It's not one mistake. It's this inexorable tide of what do you got to do to beat this guy? You know what I mean? I mean, when he's got an extra gear that no one else has ever had. He gets behind and he'll start like stringing together, 11, 13, 12, and he'll do that for 45 minutes. And it's just like, I know he's 53 and everything, but, I don't see anybody beating Phil but Phil right now. And it looks to me like, Van Gerwen has not plateaued, but, he's not playing as well as he was. The same thing
Right.
happened to Adrian Lewis. He won back-to-back world titles. He played great. But then the rest of the season, it was just sort of like, not that he's going through the motions. He just doesn't play with the same energy. He doesn't play with the same enthusiasm. He doesn't get the same results.
Well, what was Phil like when he was 25?
I don't know.
So, I mean, it's just like maybe, Van Gerwen's what, 23?
He had a pretty ugly mustache. I remember that.
Did he? Okay.
And his technique's a little more refined, I think. I don't know that he really did much until he was about 30. But I don't know. I'm not a Phil Taylor historian or anything like that. But I enjoy that tournament. I enjoy watching that.
My point being, though, is Van Gerwen's only 23, and I mean, give the guy a few years, and if he refines his game.
Well, it's weird. It's like you look at guys that have a good 12 months, 9 months, 18 months, and then where are they later?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's Dean Winstanley been lately? What happened to Gary Anderson? I mean, things happen in your life. It starts to affect your game. Guy's 23. He's going to get married next year. He's got a house and everything. When the toddlers come along, then what?
Right. That's true.
Are you going to practice? It's kind of weird. It's like, remember before Tiger Woods, you had like a different guy winning the U.S. Open every year, and then the guy wouldn't do anything.
True.
Because
Which still happens.
Well, because what happens is these guys immediately start doing all these exhibitions that they, it's great money. They end up making a couple extra million a year doing exhibitions. They go to country club. They play with the club pro,
right.
the richest guy, and the president of the club, and it's like the rubber chicken circuit and stuff like that. You do a couple of those a week, every week. All of a sudden, it's like, how come you're not winning?
Right.
It's kind of weird. And you look at like a guy like Corey Pavin, finally wins the U.S. Open, and he disappears. And if you go back to the 80s, I wonder if the same thing's happening to Van Gerwen now. He's got more endorsement opportunities. He's got more exhibitions he can play. Same thing with Adrian Lewis. These guys start running around, playing all over the place, and making all this extra money, and all of a sudden, competitively, they're not performing to the same standard, and they got a target on their back now.
And that's what my chat's saying, that Phil didn't make the kind of money at 30 that MVG's making now at 23.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see what happens. Whether you can maintain that same level of play.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. I mean, that was the one thing one of the English pros told me. When I asked him about Van Gerwen, when Van Gerwen was like 18 or something, and I saw him play some great match against Martin Adams, and I asked some English pro about him, and he's like, "Well, wait till the girls get to him." And he's 18 years old. I mean, all of a sudden you're a celebrity in Europe, and all of a sudden, hey, let's go out. I mean, there's pitfalls everywhere. That was the same thing they said about Tiger Woods, though. They said, oh, well, wait till he gets a family, wait till this, wait till that, and the guy kept winning for a while.
Well,
so it's kind of weird, when individual sports that are in, where it's not a team sport, it's just you. Like look at Andre Agassi in tennis. The guy started out really good and then disappeared basically for like 7-8 years. And then, it was only when he was like right around 30 that
he resurrected his career.
Yeah, kind of resurrected his career
right.
or stuff like that. So it's an interesting way to look at it, especially, if you want to put your hard-earned shekels on the guy. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't have put a dime on Van Gerwen against Taylor, but against Chizzy, I'd have been like, yeah, well, why wouldn't he beat him? Well, because the guy reigned.
Because he's going to hit a bunch of ton 20.
He's going to see those gold darts in the trip 20 in his sleep for at least 2 weeks. Right. Is what I'm thinking. And I don't think he's really been battered as bad as Chizzy battered him.
Really?
I mean, it was unrelenting. It was great to see. And that was the thing I wanted to get to is, Chizzy choking at the end of that match. Because we had this discussion
right.
after the show, so we need to kind of do that. Where are we on time?
Time for a break.
Time for a break? A lot to get to. Okay. Well, we'll be right back. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mark, Steve, and Chat Room Girls in the house. We'll be right back.
the crosshairs on that thing?
Okay, back for the fourth quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, thanks Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. Did we have a question from the chat room or no?
We've got comments. They're talking
Comments.
about.
You want to pick one out and quote somebody or no? Is it not quotable?
Nothing quotable.
You guys in the chat room, you're not cutting it tonight. Let's go. Get on
they're
it.
talking about the different gears, and they're using like Phil Taylor versus Tiger in darts or in golf, and saying that Phil is able to keep the desire up where Tiger hasn't been able to because of his circumstances. So, I'm sure everybody has something that they gotta.
Well, it's it's weird. I mean, it's like you got all these people gambling on darts, and I remember when I was in college, there was no way I would not know whether DePaul would cover because I hung out with all the ball players and I knew who had finals. I knew who had girlfriend problems. I knew who was in a great mood. I knew who was healthy. I knew who was like, oh, this guy's tweaked. I even knew like kind of who was going to be first off the bench when they changed the lineup. I knew everything. It was like great. I mean, and I didn't really bother with it. But, gambling on darts is big business in Europe. And,
Right. Well, there's...
you got to follow these guys around a little bit, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Golf, though, it's just odds and, I don't know. Golf's hard to bet. I don't know anybody that bets that stuff seriously.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, around here, I know a couple people, but yeah, it's
really.
I mean, it's going to be mostly in Vegas. But yeah, I was with a guy on Sunday who bet on the seniors tour, and he won 33-1 odds.
Okay, for you people out there with gambling problems, I think you can call like 1-800-GAMBLER or something. There's like
the
Gamblers
Senior
Anonymous.
Olympics is going on in Florida right now. Would you like to put odds on my mom and my stepdad?
No, because
Okay.
that's not the Senior Olympics. That's like their little like assisted living Olympics, and I don't
It
think we
isn't
cover
assisted
that.
living.
Well, whatever.
Oh
I mean,
my OMG!
They always have that commercial.
The Villages.
If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800 blah blah blah.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know. I
1-800
always
what?
wanted. I just wanted to call them up and say, "Yeah, my problem is I can't win. Can you help me with that?"
I don't think that was really what we were
that's not what
getting
they-
at
Mystery Mark, call from a
on this
payphone.
stuff. Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
you
anyway.
wanted to talk about choking.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so here's the
think.
thing. I actually asked a few, like, pretty experienced players about this because, we were arguing
Last
after
week.
the show
Yeah.
where poor Adam was just like, he was actually bored by the whole conversation, I thought. But I
Well,
thought
he
it was
didn't chime in
interesting.
at all.
Well, I thought it was interesting. So the deal was, how did this start? Was that interception that Romo threw at the end of the game.
Against Denver.
You said that I said he choked.
Right.
Right, which I'm not sure that is really what I said.
Okay.
but- okay. For the sake of argument, let's say I said that, even
Yeah.
though I didn't. And so, argument back and forth, and finally, you're like, well, what do I mean by choking?
Right. What's your definition of choking?
So, and I gave you my definition, so I'll give it again. And I said, a choke is when you don't make your normal stroke. When you're, under, physical, mental pressure or whatever it is, if you don't make your normal stroke or your normal swing or, whatever sport you happen to be playing, then you choked. It doesn't, if you swing and miss, that doesn't mean you choked, right? Like, but there are also mental chokes, like where
Right.
you're under stress and suddenly you make a snap wrong decision. That to my mind is a choke.
Okay.
It's not the same thing as like really being confused, miscounting, and throwing it the wrong number.